Guys, did you know that there is a Valentine's monster out there? It's red and it goes by a couple different names. It attacks anyone, but specifically likes to attack young children. This Valentine's monster is called the Valentine's monster because it attacks every day, except on Valentine's Day it attacks even more people. Hey guys, what is up? My name is Juliana. Welcome to my channel for anyone who is new there. Alright, so Valentine's Day is literally around the corner. It's next Tuesday to be exact, and I'm sure we're all super excited to celebrate friendships and relationships and love, you know, with our chocolates, our cards, and our flowers. But little did you know, hiding beneath all this is there is a lurking monster, the Valentine's monster. Okay, so what is this monster that I'm talking about? Maybe you heard of it, maybe you haven't, but it is Red 40 or Allura Red AC. So it is a red synthetic food dye used in many different foods to enhance the color and appeal to the consumers. It adds absolutely no beneficial value to the food or product other than enhancing the color, and actually has been found to have some pretty serious negative side effects. In this video, I'll be going over some of the dangerous side effects that Red 40 or synthetic red food dye has on us as humans. I will be also sharing a quick list of foods that contain this red beast, and as well, if you stick to the end, I will be sharing how to make your own healthy natural food dye so you can still participate in making those pink pancakes and red cupcakes for Valentine's Day. Before I continue, I would like to just disclaim that I am not a doctor or a scientist or any health professional. I am simply just sharing my opinions that are formulated based on my own research, my own experience, as well as what I have learned from being part of a holistic nutrition program. You are responsible to do your own research and ask your doctor if you have any questions about anything that I share in this video. Knowledge is key, and make sure that you do your own research. In the description below, I will make sure to link some of my resources and some interesting videos on the topic in case anyone is interested in looking into it more. Okay, let's get into it and expose this red little demon. Okay, so I'll be sharing some of the side effects or symptoms that Red 40 has on us. Now, I am reading from my laptop, so excuse me if I'm not making eye contact. So the first one here is hyperactive behavior or links to ADHD. Now, there are so many stories out there where parents have discovered their kids have a sensitivity to Red 40 or other food dyes, and then how it affects their behavior, specifically hyperactive behavior. And then with help from doctors, these families actually, you know, they remove these dyes and they see a dramatic positive change in the behavior, growth, and health. I actually linked a really great TED Talk in the description below where one mother goes through her own journey of how she discovered that her son is sensitive to synthetic food dyes, and it all started with Red 40. So yeah, I would definitely recommend checking that TED Talk out, especially if you are a parent and you might have some concerns for your own children. And even if you're not a parent and you're like me and it's something that interests you, highly recommend. If you look at the comments from that TED Talk alone, you can see there's hundreds of people who comment their own stories and literally are just attesting that this is true, it's real, it's not fake. And the next effect that I have here on the list is it can increase allergies and sensitivities. These food dyes can be found to be carcinogenic, which means cancer causing, or you're at a higher risk for cancer. Now, this one is a very interesting one. It raises estrogen. So it is an estrogen mimicking chemical, much like herbicides, pesticides, and other harmful food additives found in highly processed foods. Now, if you don't know what estrogen is a hormone found in our bodies naturally. So our bodies naturally make these hormones, both biological men and women. We both make them at different ratios and for slightly different purposes, but they're crucial for the development of both. Now, keep in mind, we are actually considered to be fully developed when we hit the age of 25. So though you may be an adult, this food dye may still be tampering with your development and your hormones, so just keep that in mind. It doesn't take a scientist to realize how dangerous it is to be consuming these chemicals that your body thinks is its own, especially in young children who are not yet fully developed. Hormones have a huge role in how our bodies function, grow, and sexually develop. You do not want to have more or less than you're supposed to have. It will have major short-term and long-term effects. And lastly, there are some studies that suggest that it may cause DNA damage. So just to be clear, it is not just the red synthetic food dyes that are toxic and harmful to our health. The other dyes actually do also cause problems too. However, red 40 is the most commonly used by those major big food companies, and especially because Valentine's Day is coming up, we're gonna see an increase in its use, and that's why I wanted to specifically talk about it. I wanted to share this video with as many people as I can, especially where Valentine's Day is coming up, so that people are more aware of the dangers of red 40 and of the other synthetic food dyes. And the more we know, the more conscious decisions that we can make. So in my opinion, and in the opinions of a lot of people, synthetic food dyes should actually be illegal as they are toxic. So in fact, most countries in Europe, it is actually banned. And if there is any food dyes that are still allowed to be used, it is required that they have a warning label for the customers to see that it is in the product. And you know what is super crazy? These same companies that are making products for both Europe and North America will literally make two different recipes of the exact same product, because like I mentioned before, Europe has very high standards and strict regulations for their health. So harmful food dyes and harmful food additives are illegal over there, so they make them a healthier recipe for their products. And then meanwhile, because North America and other countries with less strict health regulations, we get the contaminated recipes. Like, I just don't understand. If they're allowed to have this healthier one, why can't we also? And you want to know why? Well, it's because of money, of course. Everything is run by money these days. It is much cheaper to use these harmful chemicals in our food rather than using these natural alternatives. Synthetic dyes and harmful food additives can be addicting. So the more addicted consumers are to the product, the more they're going to buy, the more money the company will make. Not to mention, another problem here is, especially with the food dyes, is when consumers get so used to a product being so bright and colorful, if a company wants to switch to the natural alternatives, it's very hard to do because the customers will fight back being like, hey, like that's not what we want, it doesn't look the way it's supposed to. A perfect example of this is Trix, the cereal. So this is by General Mills. They have a food cereal for children, for adults, whatever, but it is bright neon colors. Now, they use all the harmful food dyes there is possible out there, and back in 2015, this company decided, let's go all natural, be a little bit healthier, because that's what they thought the people wanted. Now, of course, all natural means that the colors of the food was not as bright, not as neon. After the consumers fought back, the cereal company Trix decided, you know what, we're going to go back to the original neon colors using the harmful food dyes. They claimed they were just doing what the people wanted. Sadly, the FDA still allows these harmful synthetic food dyes and harmful food additives to be in our food because there's just simply not enough evidence or links to these side effects that we're seeing. Something to keep in mind also is, who do you think the sponsors are of these studies that are happening? More times than not, the actual food companies are the ones sponsoring these studies, and if you question the legitimacy of these results, you wouldn't be alone. Sadly, huge food companies are more concerned about their profits than they are about the harmful effects their products have on consumers. And most sad of all is, none of this is being taught in school, and most of us only learn about this when we're actually dealing with the negative side effects ourselves. And I think that needs to change, and that's part of my reason for making this video, to hopefully share this knowledge with other people so that we're more aware and that we can make more health conscious decisions. Synthetic food dye can be found in almost all types of foods: candies, fruit snacks, fruit drinks, milks, yogurts, ice creams, sauces, syrups, breads, meats, and even some vegetables and fruits. For example, did you know that the orange peel is actually dyed with citrus red too? If you're curious if the food you're eating has these synthetic food dyes in it, the easiest way is to just take your products, your food products, turn it around, look at the ingredient list, and you'll see right there whether it contains any of these synthetic food dyes. So you can actually just pause the screen right here, and I have a big list of all the food dyes that are allowed to be in North America, and these are the ones that are harmful that you need to watch out for. So I went to Superstore to do a quick check on some random products to see what kinds of dyes I could find in different kinds of foods. Now, obviously, the more processed the food was, the more dyes there were in, and the less the food was processed, the less likely I could find dyes in it. However, whichever foods you eat, I would just recommend just checking the ingredients list just in case. If you guys made it this far in the video, I would really appreciate a big thumbs up, as well as you can comment down below your favorite Valentine's snack. Before I show you a bunch of the foods that I found in Superstore, I did want to just say that there's absolutely no judgment here on what kinds of foods you guys like to eat, whether it's processed or not processed. We're all living different lives in different circumstances, and the choice is yours. It's your life. Do what makes you happy. However, I do genuinely hope that you are choosing what's best for your health. Now, if you are a parent, I hope you consider the food that you're buying for your children, as it will have an effect on them, whether it's good or bad, on the way they grow and develop. And kids don't know the difference whether food is good or bad for them, and ultimately it's your responsibility as a parent to provide them the best opportunities to grow and live a healthy, happy life. I know for a fact that we're all living in different circumstances and situations. However, as long as you're doing your best, that's all that matters. Just make sure you take time to prioritize your battles. So here are some of the foods that I checked at Superstore. Just take the item, turn it around, and check the ingredients list. There you'll see the little red demon is literally everywhere. While I show these products, I want to just share a quick story of my own. So I was always very lucky that growing up, my mom was very health conscious. We didn't eat too much processed foods at home at all. For breakfast, we often had hot cereals, which was like oatmeal, and we'd have smoothies. For our lunches at school, we would make our own sandwiches. We would have apples and healthier granola bars. And then for dinners, we would have often like brown rice, chicken or salmon, veggies, and salad. So the other kids in school would often have these colorful lunches full of snacks that were like sugary and sweet. And I remember being a kid thinking like, oh, only the rich kids were the ones who had like Gushers and fruit roll-ups and Dunkaroos and chips and chocolate dipped granola bars, Lunchables, Rice Krispie Squares, and all the good stuff. Now, my friends would often share with me, and I would be like, oh, you guys are so lucky. You guys get all these, sugary snacks that are like sweet. So I remember I would spend a lot of time at my friend's house, and to be honest, when I'd be over at these friends' house, I would have a lot. We would have a lot of colorful snacks. These would be like the processed ones. Like we would have craft dinner, we would have pop or sugary drinks to drink. We'd have those Gushers, those Rice Krispie Squares, ice cream, fudgicles, all those kinds of sugary processed foods. Now, I noticed that when I came home from those friends' house, I would usually be very cranky and moody. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who noticed that. I'm sure my mom and my siblings also noticed that. Now, at the time as a kid, I didn't really know what was going on. I didn't know why I felt that way. I just knew that whenever I came home, I didn't like to be home. I was irritated, I was cranky. I didn't know why. But now that I'm an adult and I know what I know now, I think it's safe to bet that there is a direct link between foods that I was eating when I was at my friend's house and how it was affecting my behavior, my mood, and everything like that. So that's my personal story. Alright, so Valentine's Day is next week, and I didn't mean to ruin your parade by saying, like how dangerous these synthetic food dyes are. I'm not saying you can't make your own pink pancakes, pink cupcakes, whatever it is that you like to do for Valentine's Day. I'm also not saying that you can't have your favorite Valentine's snacks. I'm just saying, here's some information about the dangers from synthetic food dyes, and maybe you should reconsider. It's totally up to you how you want to take this information that I shared with you. However, if you are interested in going the more healthier route, I will show you now how you can make your own red-pink food dye at home just using a few natural ingredients. It's quick and it's easy, and you can follow along if you like. If you aren't keen on making your own at-home food dye, but you still want to be a little bit more health conscious, I actually did find some on Amazon that are all plant-based, all natural. I have never used them, so I can't say whether they are good or bad. However, if you are interested to try them, I will leave a link down below. But yeah, let me know if you try them and if they're good or bad. This is just one way you can make your own red or pink food dye at home with a beet. So cut off the bottom and top of a fresh beet. You're gonna then cut it into some slices so it's easier to take off the peel. Take off the peel as you see how I'm doing it here. Once the peels are off all of these slices, you're going to then chop it into little cubes. You're going to put these cubes into boiling water on a pot. Okay, and you're going to know it's done when you can push the knife smoothly through. So it's not yet done. And here it is done. You can see it went through. Take it off the heat and add your beets and juice to your favorite food processor. You can wait until it's not boiling, but I am impatient, so I just went ahead and did it. Here is my favorite kitchen gadget of all time. Give it a good blendy blendy. Look at that beautiful color that it was making. Okay, and now that it is done blending, open it up. It's still very hot and steamy. Okay, and then you're going to strain it. I didn't have any cheesecloth, so I just used a clean handkerchief. But yeah, you're just gonna basically strain out all the juice and separate it from the pulp. Careful, it is hot. Okay, now you're just left with the beet juice, very rich in color. You're gonna then put it on the pan and you're going to put it on high heat, add some sugar and lemon juice, and this is going to help thicken it up and also preserve it. So just basically reduce it to a syrup. Now you can do this with any fruit or vegetable that is very colorful, so you can make any other colors than just red and pink. You know, purple, blueberries, whatever it is that you like. But for Valentine's Day, I just decided to use beets for red and pink. So here I have my pancake batter that I'm just going to put some pink food coloring in to show you how well it works. And that's it. And here's another great idea, is maybe using cranberry juice and skipping the whole boiling and processing and just straight to the pan with this. If you found this video interesting and you want to know more about how synthetic food dyes can be affecting us, as I said before in this video, I linked down below some articles and some videos that have more information. And if you also find this important, definitely share this video with your friends and your family so that they can also be more aware about the dangers of food dye and how to make better decisions when it comes to food. If you guys found this video helpful at all, I would really appreciate it if you give me a big thumbs up. If you wanted to subscribe, is it this way or this way? I can't remember. If you wanted to comment down below if you guys have any sensitivities or allergies to food dye, or if you're interested to learn more, definitely let me know what your thoughts are on this video. And I hope you guys have a happy and safe Valentine's Day. Just be aware of that Valentine's monster.